The deadline for registration under the Alien Registration Act is today. All foreign nationals present in the United States longer than 30 days must register with the federal government. Failure to comply with this is a crime, punishable by fines, imprisonment, or both. As President Trump and Secretary Noem have both said, if you register and you leave now, you choose to self-deport, you may have the opportunity to return later legally. But if not, you will be arrested, fined, deported, never to return to our country.
Many came to the U.S. seeking education or work opportunities, but due to visa delays, changes in immigration policy, or financial hardship, some have fallen out of legal status. Others are asylum seekers with pending cases. The new policy may leave them with two dangerous options: register and risk arrest or deportation, or hide and risk being caught.
Yeah, people, bless up. It's a tough one, this. Critical changes in the immigration policy in America that affects directly all of us in Jamaica here, and in extension the Caribbean and Africans. Boy, it's hard to say that one and a racist still, you know. Pure black people that, you know, but I think there's something about Canada getting, you know, limited to. But the usual 6 months that we get for visit in America is now being cut, as you hear before, to 1 month. A serious cuttings that, you know. I mean, you can barely plan some serious, you know, things for do in at that time. And you know, most up there work illegal. Even though, let's be honest, a lot of people do that. And that is the reason why, you know, the good have to suffer for the bad, if we're being realistic. But yeah, man, it's a tough change, especially for some of the Africans, because they're a world apart. A lot of them needed a little time to get themselves sorted out, you know, in a certain way. Registered for school or whatever, and you went, you know, thinking that you have 6 months. Because it's not a thing where him saying, no, when you go up there, you only get a month, you know. The persons who were already stamped 6 months, them have to go come back before the month done. If them gone over a month, them have to go report themselves. And as you can hear, go report yourself, you can get arrested for that. And deported. But them say if you don't report yourself, you definitely are going to get arrested if you get catch. And definitely get deported, and you cannot come back into the country. So it's a rough thing. Yeah, man. I don't know, boy. When I give too much of my personal thoughts, I know it's rough. It's rough for the Caribbean people. And with the amount of deportation that go on, you know, the whole culture will get shake up, you know. Remittances, all them things there. When I talk it out, we cut some videos together for show you exactly what's going on out there, you know, with deep reasoning. Bless up, people. Please drop a like, a share, subscribe. Yeah, man, please. Anything, engagement, comment. Give me a heart in the comment section. Give me a one love. Give me something, please. Yeah, man, bless up, people. Take it easy.
Trump administration's proposed immigration registry is raising alarm within Caribbean and African communities in the United States, especially among Jamaican and African nationals, with an estimated 350,000 Jamaicans living in the U.S., many of whom are undocumented or have overstayed their visas. The 30-day registration ultimatum poses a serious threat. Thousands of Jamaicans work in sectors like healthcare, domestic service, and construction, and many send regular remittances back home. These remittances are vital to Jamaica's economy, accounting for over 15% of the country's GDP. If the new policy leads to mass deportations or voluntary exits, the impact on families and the Jamaican economy could be devastating. Many undocumented Jamaicans entered the U.S. legally, but became unauthorized due to visa overstays, a group now directly targeted by this policy. If they fail to register, they risk being fined, imprisoned, or permanently banned from re-entering the U.S. For those who do register, the fear remains. Will this information be used to deport them later? For Jamaican parents with American-born children, the threat of family separation looms large. Some fear being forced into the shadows, avoiding work, school, or even medical care in order to avoid detection. African nationals, particularly from countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and Ethiopia, also face significant risks.
Fail to self-deport. Non-citizens could also get jail time and a lifetime ban from legal immigration to the United States. President Trump's latest rule will not directly affect visa holders, green card recipients, and work and study permit holders. However, it does require them to carry the proof of their legal status at all times. The new rule might affect H-1B visa holders living in the U.S. past their grace period without jobs and international students residing unlawfully in the country. The latest warning comes as President Trump eyes the largest deportation in American history with a goal of deporting 1 million migrants within his first year in office.
Many came to the U.S. seeking education or work opportunities, but due to visa delays, changes in immigration policy, or financial hardship, some have fallen out of legal status. Others are asylum seekers with pending cases. The new policy may leave them with two dangerous options: register and risk arrest or deportation, or hide and risk being caught. For African students and professionals, this could mean the end of their American dream. This policy may hit African immigrants particularly hard due to structural challenges they already face in the immigration system, such as longer wait times, limited access to legal aid, and cultural or language barriers. African community leaders warn that this policy could lead to widespread fear and confusion, especially among undocumented youth who have built lives in the U.S. for years. Beyond the individual impact, the ripple effects of this policy may be felt across entire nations. Countries like Jamaica, Haiti, Nigeria, and Ghana heavily depend on remittances from their diaspora. A mass departure or deportation of undocumented nationals would not only fracture families, but would also shrink the financial lifeline that supports housing, education, and small businesses back home. In the long run, such policies may drive future Caribbean and African talent away from the U.S., redirecting migration toward countries like Canada, the United Kingdom, or Australia, nations perceived to offer more stable and welcoming immigration systems. For many Jamaicans and Africans living in the United States, this policy feels like more than a crackdown. It feels like betrayal. Many have lived, worked, and contributed to American society for years. Now, they are being told to identify themselves or face the consequences. Whether or not the policy is implemented, the fear and distrust it has already generated may have lasting effects. These individuals now risk being criminalized, stigmatized, and possibly deported, regardless of how long they've lived in the U.S. or what they've contributed. Supporters of Trump's proposal argue that it's about accountability and restoring order to what they view as a broken immigration system. This is not about race or targeting specific groups, said conservative radio host Tom Grady. This is about law. If you're in the country illegally, there have to be consequences. It's the only way we can preserve fairness for those who followed the rules. Some also argue that mass registration could be a first step toward streamlining who gets to stay versus who must leave, potentially identifying low-risk individuals who might qualify for legal status under future legislation. But critics are quick to point out that this type of policy does not exist in a vacuum. They argue that it creates a climate of fear, not order. Immigration attorney Amina Obote, who works with African and Caribbean clients in New York, says the policy amounts to institutionalized fear and intimidation. She explains that requiring people to register could put them on a fast track for deportation, regardless of whether they have American-born children, steady jobs, or community ties. This will break families apart. You're asking people to come forward and possibly sacrifice everything they've built. But for critics, the cost of this policy, both human and economic, is too high. They argue that it will isolate immigrant communities, erode trust in institutions, and further marginalize people who are already vulnerable. And they warn that once a registry is created for undocumented immigrants, it could open the door to future forms of government surveillance or control over other populations. As the debate rages, what's clear is that this policy could redefine life in the United States for thousands of Jamaican and African nationals, not just in terms of legal status, but in terms of identity, belonging, and the basic right to live without fear.
Yeah, people, as you can see, Trump now ramp, the Republicans not playing. And we know it's not Jamaicans alone, but it's rough. Some would argue that the Europeans, the illegal Europeans, are not being focused on as much as the Africans and the Spanish people, the Indians and every other race. But, it's early, I could go and watch. I could go and watch. Everything can do one time, so I could go and watch. But people, thanks for watching, And anybody up there, and never them pass them 30 days, do the thing. If you're not going to report in, just come home. And maybe if you're not reporting, you try to come home, them arrest you. So, boy, tough. Tough. Anybody up there and they plan to spend them 6 months or run away, try to come home, figure out on yourself. Yeah, man, better than you can't go back up there. Yes, people, bless up. One love. Give her thanks. Oh, and before I go again, remember, drop a like and a comment. Please, subscribe if you didn't before. Yeah, man, big up.